What do out-of-state buyers get wrong about Orlando?
We're going to be talking about 7 things and a bonus one at the end, which may surprise you. I'm Savanna Williams.
And I'm Kathy Williams.
And together we are mother-daughter realtor duo Team Williams right here in Orlando, and we are your Orlando relocation experts.
Starting out with number 1, buyers who think that Orlando is just Disney World. So this is really common. I have people that call and they'll say, hey, we're gonna move to Orlando. And I say, oh, have you ever been here before? And they say, yes. And I say, oh, where did you go? Disney World. And I'm like, well, that is great. We love Disney World, but all of Orlando, the rest of Orlando is quite different than just Disney. You know,
there's a ton of cities and suburbs that make up Greater Orlando that offer a lot more than just Disney. I mean, obviously Disney's great, but there's just so much more that Orlando has to offer. So much diversity, so much culture. So really, Disney is only a small part of Orlando. The second thing that buyers get wrong about Orlando is that Orlando is just teeming with wildlife. Like there's an alligator at your doorstep, there's snakes in your house, you know. And while there are a lot of wildlife here, really we don't see, you know, that kind of thing happening. What do you have to say about it?
Well, I'm outdoors all the time. I love, playing golf. I love hiking. I love playing pickleball. That's what happened here. I fractured my wrist playing pickleball, but I'm outside all the time going on walks and everything. And the number of times I've gotten bitten by a mosquito is like 0. I can't even remember the last time I've gotten bit by a mosquito. And a lot of people think, oh, like they're going to just get eaten up when they move to Orlando. And if you're out in the wilderness, yes, maybe if you go camping, yes, put bug spray on for sure. But on a day-to-day basis, they really do spray a lot around Orlando to prevent, because of the West Nile virus from a long time ago, but they still keep spraying to keep the bug levels down. So it's not what people think. And gators, again, like Savannah said, not that many gators.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there are gators in some residential lakes, but a lot of times HOAs will remove them if they're becoming a nuisance. And yeah, the only time I really see gators or mosquitoes is when I'm hiking out in, the Oviedo area. So yeah,
it's not a big deal. So number 3, hurricanes. So of course, this is a subject that comes up a lot, and we've done videos about hurricanes that you can watch that are on our channel, some really detailed information about hurricanes. But the thing to know is that when you see on the news that there's a big hurricane in Florida, it's usually on the coast, west coast, southeast coast, or along the coast of Florida. Sometimes in the northern panhandle, it also gets hit there. But that's just not the case in Central Florida. In Central Florida, we do get hit by hurricanes, and you certainly want to take precautions, right? But we don't get the same kind of damage that they get. You're not going to get a house that's totally blown away or anything like that for hurricanes. We get some flooding, slight flooding. We get a lot of rain. We get a lot of wind, but it's still not the same strength, because once it hits land, the hurricane forces slow down.
Nothing flying around in the air. Like, a lot of people think that they need to get updated windows because of hurricanes, but really you don't find, if you're looking at houses here, you don't see a lot of houses with updated windows in them.
Hurricane force windows are not required in Central Florida, so you don't have to have them. The only thing that is required hurricane-wise for new construction are roof straps. That's it. We don't have to have hurricane force doors, windows, anything like that. So, and it's just because of that wind force. That's why.
So the next thing that people get wrong about Orlando is underestimating commute and traffic. There are areas that get heavy congestion and traffic, so it's really important to keep this in mind when you're picking where you'd like to live. And that's why it's super important to consult with a local expert, such as one of us. And by the way, we do have a Greater Orlando relocation guide that you can download by clicking in the description box for this video. This is a great way to get started with getting to know the area. Definitely ask us about what is the best place to live as far as what you're interested in or where you want to work, and if you're wanting to commute in a certain amount of time, because we can really give you some good points about that.
Yeah, just for an example, if you want to live in Lake Nona and work in like Winter Park or Maitland, that's going to be a really long commute. It could be 40 minutes to an hour commute. So it's just one of those things that it's important to think about, because a lot of people think Orlando, everything is really close by, but it's actually not. It's very spread out.
On the map, it may look like it's close, but then because of congestion and traffic, it can take longer.
Next up on the list is number 5. Where you live can vary depending on what your budget is for your home. If you have a smaller budget, maybe like in the 300s to low 400,000s, you are going to be limited for the Central Florida market, because most of the homes are pushing 5 as the median in Central Florida. So there are homes, there's townhomes, there's options for purchasing in that price range, but you're probably going to be pushing out. If your budget is more in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, it's going to open up a whole lot more areas. Again, like maybe not Winter Garden, where the budget's a little higher there. But for example, if you're in the $700,000 or $800,000 range, you can be in almost anywhere in Central Florida, really. So it is a little more expensive than people think, but it's also still really affordable in a lot of ways, and you can get some great homes here. There's a lot of different options.
So one thing we recommend, this is the first step for anyone who's looking at Orlando and they want to get to know the area, is we give a customized tour plan of areas that our clients can drive around. And this is based on the property that they're looking for, the lifestyle that they're wanting. It's a very customized plan.
Yeah, and what's great about this is that you don't waste your time driving through areas that are not a good fit for you. So this is us helping you narrow it down so your time is used wisely, yes.
Number 6 is forgetting that Florida has unique home maintenance issues than other places. So for example, the AC may not last as long as other places because it's being cranked all the time in the summer. Typically we see ACs last anywhere from 10 to 20 years, so it's not like it's very, very short-lived unless it's, a crappy AC. But if you're looking at an existing home, this is something to keep in mind, as well as termites. Termites are a thing here. When we're doing home inspections, not that we're doing them, but when we're at a home inspection for our client, we don't really see a lot of termite issues, which is great, but they are out there. So it's really important to get some sort of termite preventative bond or, some sort of termite preventative plan with a pest control company.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that almost every home here has irrigation systems. So that's another thing to plan for, is the maintenance of your irrigation. You want your lawn to look great, you got to have irrigation in Central Florida.
That's right. And also pools are extremely common here, especially when you get to the 500, 600,000 and up range. So it's important to decide if you want the upkeep and the responsibilities of a pool, or if you'd rather not have one, or if you'd rather have one in the community and not have one in your own backyard. So things like that are important to consider, as, they are things that we see in Florida homes.
And if you're not buying a new construction home, if it's an older home, then you might need to think about what renovation needs the home might need over time. So if it's a cute Winter Park bungalow, it might be 50, 60 years old. You might have to consider the plumbing needing replaced.
Older electricity.
Older, things like that. So that's just something to consider. Number 7, thinking that all new construction is created equal. So definitely a lot of variation in new construction, right? One of the things that really irritates me a lot is how builders will advertise a home and they'll say, this home is $700,000. It's on their website. It looks beautiful, right? And I'll have buyers call me and go, I want to buy from this builder. This is in my budget. It's $700,000. And I'll look it up and it's like, they're not including the lot premium. They're not including the upgrades, and even just structural upgrades like electrical and carpet and flooring, kitchen, all these different things. They're not including that in the home. So you could be looking at around 80 to 100,000 more by the time they add those things to your home. So it's kind of frustrating on new construction. So it's just something to keep in mind.
That's right. And builders can vary greatly as far as the quality of build. So we do know the builders that have a higher reputation in the area. So it's really important to be aware of those kind of things. Yeah.
And a lot of the newer construction homes are having more of the CDDs, Community Development District, which is an extra tax. So it's not all of them, but some of them are. And just things like that you want to be aware of, in other words. And
time for the bonus thing that people get wrong is thinking that they can judge neighborhoods accurately from online, from the, on the internet, from far away. So this is why it's so important to come down in person if you can and check out the area. Do one of our customized tour plans, where you can drive through the different areas that pertain to you, because there's nothing like seeing the neighborhoods in person. You might see something super cute online, a house that looks like it checks all the boxes, but then you drive through the neighborhood and you just don't really vibe with the neighborhood, or maybe it's not in a location that's close to amenities that you want to enjoy. So this is probably, I would say, the most important point out of everyone.
It really is. And just recently this happened. I was showing a client some homes and it looked perfect online. I mean, this house looked so amazing. And I was like, oh, this is the one. And we pull up, before we even go in the house, there was a very busy road, just like 3 houses down from theirs was a major road. And you could see it, yes, you could see it online from like satellite, but you couldn't necessarily tell how busy the road is because it doesn't look like a busy road from online. And it's just that kind of thing can just, boom, it struck the house out immediately. So, and for some people that may not bother them, but things like that, things like electric lines, things that you can't necessarily see online until you get there and drive through it.
Right. So it's important, if you don't know the area of Orlando super well, other than maybe Disney or the theme parks, focus on the areas first before focusing on the homes. I mean, you can kind of do both at the same time, but really it's important to narrow down the areas first. And by the way, don't forget to download that Greater Orlando Relocation Guide. This is going to help immensely with the start of your search process of Orlando if you're interested in moving here.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Have a great day.